welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. Look, I just wanted to cover something really quick in this video today. And I feel like people don't understand that traditional selling, it's basically dead, right? If I told you that almost everything you've ever known about sales is becoming obsolete, you probably wouldn't believe me. I don't know, would you believe me? Look, the truth is this, okay? The idea of traditional selling, that's out the door. And what do I mean by that? So the old model where the salesperson controlled all the information, okay, the buyer asked the questions, the salesperson pitched, handled objections, and closed. That world doesn't exist anymore. Today your prospect already has researched you. They've watched the darn videos. They've read the reviews, compared you to your competitors. They're asking the robots, the GPTs. They're reading Reddit about you. The thing is, they've been to your website, they've diagnosed it. Okay, before you even say hello, they're pre-educated. They've already self-educated. So if you're still trying to impress people by explaining, what bookkeeping is, what tax planning is, why QuickBooks works, you've already lost. Today I want to show you what replaced traditional selling and why this shift changes everything for accountants, CPAs, and advisors. So what I have for you today is lesson 1, okay? Lesson 1. The greatest shift in sales history. I'd say for probably as long as time can remember. Definitely for over 100 years, okay? Salespeople possess one thing that the buyers typically didn't have, which was access to an extraordinary amount of information. The salesperson already has what? A few things. The salesperson already knew the pricing, the features, the availability, the implementation, the competitors. The buyer needed the salesperson simply because the salesperson possessed knowledge. And what did that knowledge do for them? It created leverage, and leverage created influence. Influence created the moolah, the sales. But today, information is free. The AI explains products better than most salespeople. Your website explains the darn services. Your reviews explain your reputation. Videos explain your process, right? Look, the internet has taken over and destroyed basically information. The access to information is just ridiculous, okay? And then you throw in AI, the artificial intelligence, that just finishes the job. So if your only value is explaining information, just know that AI has already replaced you. So how do we get back into the game? What's the new way of selling? Let me teach you. Well, here's lesson 2 in this video, and the title is Buyers No Longer Need Information. Write that down. Lesson 2, buyers no longer need information. Think about your own buying behavior. When was the last time that you walked into a dealership knowing nothing? Never. You've already watched reviews. You've already literally typed in the name of the video or the name of the car on YouTube. You went and looked it up, seen it. Someone's already test driven it for you. Okay? So you've compared prices. You've read forums. You looked at competitors. Okay? You've already done all things. So your clients, these business owners, they do the exact same thing. When they schedule a meeting with an accounting firm, they're not asking, what is bookkeeping? They're asking, can I trust these people? Will they understand my business? Can they help me grow? The sale no longer begins with education. It starts with confidence. Your confidence when you get on the call. And they're going to borrow that confidence. Your tonality. Do you speak with them with a familiarity, like it's your aunt or your uncle, right? All these things matter. Now it's about psychology and questions and framing. All right, let's go to lesson 3. Lesson 3, title, information is a commodity, because it is, okay? Because it is. Look, knowledge used to be expensive. Today, we know that it's free, okay? Interpretation is what's expensive, okay? Interpretation is expensive. Anyone can learn depreciation rules. Few people understand how those rules affect a growing business. Look, anyone can explain advisory, okay? Very few can demonstrate how advisory changes cash flow, profit, hiring decisions, business valuation, and long-term wealth. Clients don't pay for information. They pay for interpretation. They pay for judgment. They pay for experience. All right, and that leads me into lesson 4. Titled Lesson 4, Your Real Job is Reducing Uncertainty. Okay, and here's something the best salespeople understand. People don't buy because they're convinced. People buy because the uncertainty that they have, it disappears, okay? The way you're speaking, the way you're solving the problems and framing the solution, just take the uncertainty and go put it on a shelf over there. All right? Every purchase contains fear. What if this doesn't work? What if I waste my money? What if my spouse disagrees? What if my parents hate this? What if my business partner hates this? What if I make the wrong decision? Look, your job isn't overcoming objections. Your job is removing uncertainty before objections ever appear. That changes everything. Okay? Lesson 5. This is probably the most valuable lesson in this whole video. Stop selling services. Write that down. Stop selling services. Okay? This is where all my accountants make the biggest mistake. Okay? You keep selling bookkeeping, tax preparation, payroll, advisory, and you have to understand, and I can't stress this enough. These business owners, they don't wake up wanting your bookkeeping. Okay? The business owners want accurate numbers. Write this down. My clients want accurate numbers, less stress, higher profits, better decisions, financial clarity, more freedom. The service isn't the destination, it's the darn vehicle. All right? Elite advisors never sell the vehicle, you have to sell the destination. Can't stress that enough. Can't sell the airplane and not the island. Airplane's going to have a lot of leg room, Nathan. You're going to love it. Like, makes no sense. I'd rather hear about the weather of the place I'm going. Okay? Lesson 6. Insight is the new currency. Write that down. Insight is the new currency. So what do I mean by that? You know, most salespeople answer questions, but the best salespeople ask questions buyers never considered. Imagine telling a prospect, can I show you something that's costing accounting firms thousands every month without them realizing it? Now you're creating insight. You're changing how they think. Anyone can answer questions. Very few people change perspectives. And that's where the influence lives, okay? Here's lesson 7. The future belongs to advisors. Look, technology keeps eliminating low-value work, okay? My AI can write me emails. It can schedule meetings, summarize calls. Create proposals, generate follow-up, book appointments. What AI struggles with, though, is reading human emotion, okay? And trust me, I know what I'm talking about. I build these darn AI sales reps, all right? I know what I'm talking about, all right? So when I'm saying this, what I'm telling you is it struggles with reading human emotion, understanding business nuance, navigating politics, helping people make difficult decisions, connecting financial decisions to long-term business strategy. Well, do you notice the pattern? The more complex the decision, the more valuable the humans become. That's why advisory is the future, not because compliance disappears, but because judgment becomes priceless, right? Lesson 8, decision architecture. Write that down. Write that down. If you ever have any questions on this stuff, just email me. You know, it's not a big deal. I'm not hard to find. All right? Lesson 8, decision architecture. And it's free advice. I don't mind helping you out. This is what elite selling becomes. Decision architecture. Instead of convincing, I want you to create clarity. Instead of pitching, you organize thinking. Instead of pressuring, you reduce fiction. Instead of selling, I need you to guide decisions, okay? Your prospect leaves thinking, boy, that was the clearest conversation I've ever had, okay? I don't want them thinking that's the best salesperson, so that's the goal. Clearest conversation I've ever had. Easily will increase your revenue. How do I go from giving people the clearest deliveries on things as opposed to impressing people? I don't want to impress them, I want to help them. Don't be a weirdo. All right, lesson 9, okay? Why trust has changed. People still buy from people they trust, but trust isn't built the way it used to be. Okay, so think about this. Old trust, this is what old trust, what it used to be, not now. But it used to look like being nice, building rapport, finding common interests, talking about football, the weather, vacation. So it's not like people are crazy when they do these things. Well, it's been a model that has been followed, learned, instilled in generation after generation. It becomes a part of communication. All of these things, okay? All of these things. But modern trust is different. Trust today is built through competence, insight, preparation, understanding their business, helping them see something they couldn't see before. Okay, the fastest way to build trust is by helping someone think better. Here's lesson 10 for you. Lesson 10. What this means for every accountant. Okay, look, if you're still trying to become a better closer, you're solving yesterday's problem. Become a better thinker, okay? Become someone who diagnoses problems. Become a better strategist, and specifically a better business strategist, a better conversation strategist. You don't want to become a strategist. I don't even know what that means. But become someone who understands cash flow, profit, operations, growth, leadership, risk, and decision making. the accountant of the future, they're not just accountants. They're the person business owners trust with the biggest financial decisions. So traditional selling isn't dying because people stop buying. It's dying because information has just become available at everywhere you turn. Basically, you pick up a rock, you can find info. So information's everywhere, judgment's rare, clarity's rare, wisdom's rare, and those who master those skills will dominate the next generation of sales. So look, just don't answer all the questions. You don't have to become the person with all the answers. Become the person who asks the questions that completely change how your clients think. In the future, the best salesperson won't sound like a salesperson at all. They're going to sound like an advisor, okay? Someone who's giving a consultative conversation. Make sure if you like this video, like and subscribe. We post videos every single day, every single week. So we'll see you in the next one. Hey, the more deals you close for my video, make sure you let me know and we'll celebrate together. I'll see you in the next one.